Welcome to HistoricHole. My name is David, and as always, I'm joined by Kevin.
Wow, I'm official now. Welcome.
Yeah, Kevin's here, and it's funny because it's the second time he's been here, and I said always, which is not true.
Well, I've been here 4 times, actually, I think. I'm, like, basically a regular. I think I might have broke the record so far.
But you just earned the title of always.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm official now.
Yeah.
That
official.
blue check mark. I want that, what is it, like $60 to get a blue check mark?
60?
Yeah, you owe me now.
It's gonna be 2,000. Apparently Twitter employees
Twitter's
were
like
selling that
falling
for
apart.
$15,000.
$15,000?
They were selling blue check marks for $15,000.
Is it... So what is it, just now a flex that you can afford it?
Well, this is apparently before Elon acquired it.
Oh, that's what they were doing before. Damn, so Elon's not even... Oh, wow, that's some fuck... Why aren't people talking about that? Like, why did he do all this?
Well, I think this just dropped today. I just learned about it.
Oh, holy shit.
Big
Honestly,
news.
I was thinking... I've heard a lot of mixed things about Twitter since Elon's been on there. Like, I feel like I've heard that people have been, like, trying to, like, test, like, the censor limits of Twitter by just, like, posting a bunch of shit and just, like, trying to overwhelm it. Yeah. But he's doing pretty okay, honestly. I bet for, like, a billionaire.
So, the thing is, though, it's interesting, is I think he was mainly talking about, in terms of free speech, when he's like, free speech, hey, it's now legal on Twitter, all that.
Yeah.
I think he mainly just talked about, like, not suppressing stories like, the Hunter Biden laptop story that the New York Post got censored in the 2020 election for.
He wants to be, like, separate from, like, corporational influence kind of thing.
Yeah, he is like, I don't want to be doing that kind of stuff. And also, too, with all the vaccine stuff and, like, during COVID, like, all the COVID disinformation stuff, like...
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what his thing was like, he just had a problem with people getting kind of censored or, like, deplatformed for questioning sort of official policy. Mm-hmm. Because it seemed to be happening in some of those cases. Whether or not you think that's a good idea, I mean, it's a different story. But like the whole concept now, I see people trying to kind of push the test the limits, like what you're saying, is they're trying to like.
Well, they're literally just throwing in a bunch of words just to try to like
racial slurs, and then on top of that, they're also like, they're also trying to like pretend to be Elon Musk. So they'll change their account to be his profile picture.
Interesting. I kind of like that version name. Better.
And then, but they're doing it
like
with
imagine like a Twitter where it's all just Elon Musk profiles talking to each other, and everybody's anonymous, but it's just Elon Musk.
Well, what's interesting though is people are doing that, and like obviously to sort of parody and like make fun of him. I can understand it, but I'm pretty sure it's under the content moderation policy that you can't impersonate people like that.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely like a big thing.
Because they're doing it with verified accounts.
Oh damn! So they bought it. They bought into it just to fucking
the check
troll.
Already.
Okay.
And so then they're
just changing all their shit to fuck with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure that's against the policy.
Well, what are they gonna do about it?
And so people are saying, and so the accounts are getting suspended when they do that, and they're like, it's not free speech. He'll suspend people for making fun of him. It's like, well, you're you see what you're doing.
You fucked up by like not reading the rules to really test out what you wanted to test out, because he's just getting you on a technicality.
Well, exactly. Like,
so you fucked up.
But see, I think they're trying to get suspended and then play the victim.
But if you're gonna play the victim,
everyone's trying to sort of do that.
You have to have a good. You can't just be like, oh, I got hit. It's like, why does he have a black eye? It's like, oh, because I punched him at first.
Oh,
it's like, no, you have to like hide your trail if you're really trying to get him or something.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that's the thing though. It's just like people are going to get banned if you do it. Like,
I'm also not at all for like deplatforming or shit like that. I mean, I know, I feel like everything is just like going towards this trend of like, well, the best example I can give, I like saw on Instagram, this like video of like this guy filming his cousin get into a Mets game because he was like wearing security jackets and shit. So he was just like sweeping and he just like walked in, and I was like, oh, that's beautiful. But it's like all the comments were like, oh yeah, your cousin's definitely gonna get caught, or like blah blah blah. It's like, everybody like has like the snitch mentality already, like on deck. It's like you can't even like just enjoy it. You're like, someone's just gonna ruin it for. Well, I think it's just a lot of trolls, but it's like, damn, you can't even do anything without people like calling people up for you, like looking into it,
trying to dox you and shit.
Doxing's a crazy concept too.
Well, I mean, I think that's kind of part, but like, and I think you're right though. It's like the whole like snitch mentality, like
how did we get here? Yeah, it used to
like,
just be cool.
Yeah.
And now it's just like shit.
Well, yeah, I think that's kind of part of it. It's like it's weird. It's a weird thing going on where, you always kind of, things are always sort of framed in media and other places in that sort of like, well, one side's good and one side's bad, right? Like, well, obviously, like this side's good and that side's bad, right?
Yeah.
But like you start to realize that it's like people on the two sides that you start to see, it's like having they like these different flavors of the same thing.
Yeah, like, it's like Sprite
using authority.
Plus like Sprite.
They both like forcing you to do things, but just different things. And just, you know what I mean? In just different ways.
See, the problem is,
but I'm still being forced to do something or forced to like.
And they always like intersect with like shit I agree with and shit I absolutely hate about it. And like, there's never like a perfect like matchup with shit like that. It's like you always have to make the compromise. It's like, okay, I'll go with these guys, even though they like hate, they hate blah blah blah, or like shit. Like I just, because it's just like a value of like, oh shit, like I guess like what do I care about the most, because I gotta sacrifice some shit. That's like what kind of they force you into. Yeah,
well, no, and I think there's like when it really is worrisome is, people, or there's the groups of people that are just totally unskeptical of what their side's saying, and a lot of times you see this language being deployed where it's like, oh, we're protecting freedom and democracy. It's about safety and security, and that's what, fucking fascists always use.
Safety and security.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's always their excuse for using force and being overly paranoid and suspicious of people. Well, you saw it around 9/11.
It's like a fragile society, though. Like, it really does not take much for it all to, like, start to spiral. Like, literally, like, I mean, the pandemic was definitely bad, like, worldwide. But, like, it literally almost, like, destroyed America. Like, if it went as, like, extreme as it was, like, for longer, like, all this shit was fucked up. It really didn't take that much.
No, for sure.
It's, like, it's fragile as fuck. I'm sure they're, like, exactly. I'm sure they're, like, hella, like, invested in that shit.
Well, that's the whole thing. That's why the shutdowns were just, like, so like, it was just insane, I thought, how they would just shut everything down. I was like,
it's better to have, for them, it's, like, they can always make their money back, but if people start dying, like, they're not even thinking about it from like a wealth, like the benefit of the people. It's like, we can replace businesses, we can't replace people as easy.
Well, but the whole thing though was like, the whole thing that happened was they had the government, like major corporations basically got the government to shut down all their small business competition.
Oh damn! I didn't even think about that. Wait, is this real? Is this real? Or is it like?
Don't you remember that?
No, who was
only like certain stores could be open. Then remember it was true, like only like Home Depot or like only
like the big corporations,
only the big fucking businesses. Like all the small ones everybody had to remember 2 weeks. Everyone, all the PPE loans, all the stuff, everyone was applying for. It's like, don't fire people, keep your people on payroll, but you can't be open. You can't be open making money.
It's like, we'll pay you back.
We'll pay you all back. Yeah, remember all these loans and people are applying for them, and then you find all this controversy about like all the big businesses getting the PPE loans, and they're the ones that are open.
They should they should equally, because I heard that like from the PPE loans, like they're getting back at those people who like posted the shit that like, oh, I just got my PPE, and they're like just have bundles of cash just like flexing some shit, and they like use it to like buy a car or something. Like apparently like the IRS just like try to like clap back at all those people. But I'm wondering if they're ever gonna hit up like Walmart being like, did you really need this? It's like,
well, yeah, right. No, I don't think so.
They have like corporate protection at this point. And
well, that's the whole thing that's stupid about it. It's like people don't think about it in those terms. It's just like there's a reason why what they're trying to do, and people are going to act like, oh, well, that's just like a conspiracy theory. It's like, no, it's a concerted.
It's like real
it's definitely a concerted
consequences.
effort. a lot of power has been consolidated. Corporate power has been consolidated into a small amount of hands, like a very small amount of people, basically enough to fit into a fucking group chat that could like basically.
No, that's really real, because it's like now the person that, like, the place you went to get like your wood, your flowers, like these were separate people. It's like your clothes, like your food, but now you just go to Walmart, you grab it all like for super cheap. Like everybody's paid terribly. You just go home and just continue the cycle.
And so, you think about, the way a lot of things are going, like corporations buying up everything.
Well, because they want more employees. I feel
Amazon
like also
grows
it's
huge. Like, Amazon ships out all this stuff, and so people are at home, and
you don't even have to even like leave anymore.
All the shipping stuff becomes more relevant. You don't even have to have employees in stores. It's like you can see how like a lot of the stuff they were trying to almost like stress test, or like and they're also just sort of testing out a shift in commerce and like systems, and so which would largely exclude like discourage going out into patronizing local stuff, if you can just have stuff just kind of delivered to you.
Well, I heard something, I forgot where it was from, so if it's something horrible, I apologize. I listen to a lot of shit. I don't necessarily agree with it though, but I heard something that was like like the best, like how people really expanded back in the day was like through like land, like you had to like conquer to like progress. And now with like technology, like it's like more of like an inward expansion towards like attention and shit like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And like now they're just like really trying to like basically like own your minds. Yeah, all the attention that you have, like your first, like where you go, where you eat, like they want to like have a hand in everything you do, kind of shit. And it's like, fuck, man, I can't even like. It's just like scary to think about, because it's like whether you like think it's like a conspiracy theory or not, you can like see evidence of like all these Walmarts and shit popping up. Like I'm not trying to out where we're actually. I'm gonna skip that. I was gonna say something like where we're at, but like there's like a mall that I like grew up around, and in Virginia, and literally as I grew up, I saw all this shit pop up around it. Like I literally couldn't even just like, it used to just be farms. Like there was like a place where it was just like cows I would see every day.
Yeah.
And now it's like literally like a fucking Red Lobster or some shit.
Yeah, like strip
and it's
mall.
like, what the fuck happened over here? It's like, and shit like that's just how it goes, because it's like, now you just throw up all these like things you see all the like what's the point? Like I don't understand the point of having multiple of the same restaurants everywhere you go. Like what is the benefit of that? Is it just security? It's like, oh, I know it's gonna be the same wherever I go. Like, why would anybody want that? Like, why would you not like want to try something new, depending on location?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's that. That is exactly. I mean, right. I mean,
like if I went to India and I only went to McDonald's, I'd be like, what the fuck?
That's part of. Well, that's kind of what Ray Kroc's whole thing was. The guy who started McDonald's. Well, it wasn't him. It was like so you had the McDonald brothers, I think, that started the restaurant. Mm-hmm. Ray Kroc basically went into business with them and like kind of found a way to get the business from them.
Oh yeah, I saw that whole documentary. Like they literally like basically stole it from. Well, not stole it, but like
he used business tactics to.
He like fucking Birdman them. Like he just fucking got him. He got him good.
Yeah. So what he did though, his whole philosophy was he wanted the quality to be the same everywhere he went. Every McDonald's, he wanted it to be the same. So there was no. Oh, I went to this McDonald's and that wasn't very good, but this McDonald's was really, he wanted them all to be serving the same quality. Yeah. So you could get the burger you got in New York, the same one you got in LA. It was like the whole concept. And so what you're saying there, it's like, yeah, that's for what that is. Like that's,
I feel like it's like programming in a sense. It's like,
it's the corporate expansion sort of concept. And yeah, I mean, if the way you beat it, is, and this has always been my philosophy on everything, is education, but everyone has their differing opinions on it. A lot of people think that there's just no hope for that, people, because when you say education, that means different things to different people. Some people literally in their minds think that means just indoctrination.
Well, I feel
They
like
just think
education
being-
isn't even like a sign of like intelligent, like gained intelligence. Like some people get educated in things that they no longer like utilize. I don't know. Educations are very. I think it's important for everybody to be educated because it gives you more options, lets you think.
Well, it gives you tool. The whole thing is
It gives you the tools. Yeah,
that's what education actually is. What people think
It gives you the
education
tools
means is regurgitating the right opinions. What education actually is having mental tools to parse information.
It gives you the means
and
to
understand, like hold multiple ideas in your head at the same time, weigh certain things, sort of look at like logic. Like that's what education means. Is like it gives you mental tools to navigate,
like embrace the world,
information. Because
it's important because like there's some things you just would not know without like being
or you
able
would even
to,
be
like,
able to understand or
without like further knowledge from someone else,
and being able to abstract certain things out and be like, okay, well, like let me try to understand a certain thing without like adopting it or believing it. There are some things, I think there are some like sort of mental tools that are just helpful to get you to certain places, like spiritually in a sense, what I mean? So it takes you out of yourself, in your ego, because sometimes people get so trapped in what they are seeing around them in the concrete, the ability to abstract and think about something that's not necessarily right in front of you.
Go beyond like the things
is
that, like,
something that I think can help connect us to stuff that, like you're saying, like beyond what we can necessarily see physically, because there's all sorts of feelings and shit and emotions that we have that
the thing is about like humans though, everything used to just be like a verbal culture, and I feel like even though education is great, there's a huge difference from like reading a book and talking to the person who wrote it, like always. And I feel like how we used to like really progress steadily was like we had to talk to each other. It was like constant like ideas flowing kind of shit. It was like I feel like there's there's like a current that gets passed between humans when they like talk like folklore. That's how we like actually had history. Most like a lot of people weren't educated. It was like literally just like you learn not to go to the river because of the dog that drowned story kind of shit. Yeah, and it's like shit that, and it's like
well,
we like lose. Well, because it was like person to person, like you actually like gain like real knowledge, but now we're getting a lot of shit from like external sources. It's like this is what you should be knowing instead of like this is what's kept us alive forever kind of shit.
Well, I think they always break it down into two types. The knowledge is two types of things. You have like this sort of the book learning. You have stuff that is information that is like kind of you can
like
be
stats,
passed on,
and
then you have
trends.
Experience.
Yeah,
the stuff that you learn
it's like
through
subjective truth, I guess. Yeah,
through your life, where it's like like doing certain things, physical things, like you get used to certain stuff in routines and habits, physical habits.
Yeah.
That's your experience. Then that's not necessarily stuff you can learn from a book. That's not stuff that is necessarily informational, right? Like it's like some muscle memory in some cases. And so those are the two types of like knowledge. Like, you can kind of break things down into is like information and then experience.
Like tactile and physical. Or like,
it's things that you learn that you can't necessarily, you can probably explain in words, but it doesn't make somebody give them the ability to do what you can do.
No, you have to actually. I feel like you have to do things in order to.
There's certain things you have to just do.
You have to do it. Yeah.
To be, to gain the experience, and like that's just what it is. Do
you think we have as many masterclass people like doing things as we used to? Or do people kind of like
it expands,
split their time?
There's more people than ever. And I mean, the more people there are in the way technology goes, the more availability of technology, the more people are doing creative stuff. I do think you get more creative people and more things start to progress a lot faster because everyone's trying to one up each other, and it's always that competitive.
You have exposure to shit that you would never have seen kind of shit. Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of acceleration at a certain point, but
like a renaissance of
you need to speak right now.
Yeah, I like lean so far away from
what the hell are you doing?
I was stretching.
Yeah.
Interesting though.
So we just spent like 20 minutes talking about whatever. We were going to talk about Halloween.
Oh, we still can, honestly.
It's Halloween, the history of Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween was a couple of days ago, not to date when we recorded this.
Yeah, it was a week ago probably when this comes
Well, you didn't
out.
have to say all that, but yeah, it was good. I went as a mermaid man to one costume party, and I went to a rave. Also, yeah, it was nice. It was nice. It was my first rave really ever, and I wish I took drugs. With better ones, I guess. Yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time. I was really just
What kind of music were they playing?
like wow wow kind of shit.
So okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no words or anything.
You don't have any genre. You can't hit
I
genre.
really can't differentiate house and like the other styles just yet.
Okay.
Yeah,
Kai.
it was a little
Gotcha.
grimy. Yeah, but it was
Grimy.
It was my first rave. You can't.
Is it
really
like
blame
happy hardcore?
Yeah, that's kind of what it felt like. It kind of felt like the best way I can describe it is, do you know that Samurai Jack episode where, well, it's a Samurai Jack episode. Go watch it. And these teens are like traveling through the woods to go to like this warehouse, and it's just like, well, it's like this. I'm not gonna ruin the plot, but there's like a rave thing, and like that song is so crazy.
I assure
so
you,
hard.
you can go ahead and ruin the plot.
Well, it's a bad guy, and he just kidnaps teens. It's all about.
Oh
rape.
no!
Wow!
Not this guy.
No, right?
Kidnapping the teens? No way.
Yeah, don't even bother watching it now.
Damn, that sucks. Hopefully they got out of it. You know?
Yeah, he's Samurai Jack.
Yeah.
Always. He helps
So,
people.
yeah, he's a helpful dude. So Halloween, and we're talking about the history of Halloween, the John Carpenter film series. This is a film podcast, man.
It's come a long way since like the olden days, I'm sure, right? Like I don't think people were talking about people murdering each other during Halloween as like their ritual.
Oh, the original Halloween? You mean like the 1979? I mean,
yeah, classic.
So the history, we're on Wikipedia. Christian origins in historic customs.
Interesting. Okay.
So Halloween is thought to have influences from Christian beliefs and practices.
Oh, that's the opposite of what I thought.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure I knew this. It's just a flex on you, Kevin. Sorry.
I don't know a lot. I don't know if you people know that.
I don't know if you people know that. But the English word Halloween comes from All Hallows Eve, being the evening before the Christian holy days of All Hallows Day, All Saints Day, in parenthesis. On the 1st of November, All Souls Day on the 2nd of November. Since the time of the early church, major feasts in Christianity, such as Christmas, Easter, and Pentecost, had vigils that began the night before, as did the Feast of All Hallows.
All hallowed. What does hallowed mean? Like hallowed be thy name? Like is that just like I feel like it just means pure, but like not pure. I don't know. I feel like it's a weird. What, like ascended? What does hallowed mean?
It means honor is holy.
What does that mean?
A saint or a holy person. I mean, it
Honor
just means holy.
Okay, it just means holy, hallowed. Okay, so like glowing.
All
It's like
holy, all holy Eve. Just think of it as it's a hallowed Eve. It's a holy Eve.
interesting.
There's lots
So we're
of
like
holes
protected.
to be had on that Eve.
That's not what that's about, man.
No.
Okay,
know.
interesting. So it was basically meant to celebrate
too far.
saints.
What?
Did people dress up? Like, what did they do back then? They just had. You said they had pumpkins.
Well,
And
if you let me continue. All right.
hey,
So
okay.
let's. I'll read ahead and see if we can find out any more information here.
Do they have sweets? I want to know about that.
So do we want the explanation of like what this day's about, like what the Hallows Day and all that bullshit, or do we just want to go to what they did back in the day? Because I can try and find that, but
well, let's start with what they did back in the day.
Let's see what this next sentence is. These 3 days are collectively called All Hallow Tide.
Which 3 days?
The ones that we went through: All Hallows Eve, All Hallows Day, and All Souls Day.
Oh, okay. These are all the same day, right?
No, they're 3 days.
Wait, like what is like the physical calendar date? Like the
31st, the November 1st, and then the
oh, it tips into the next month.
November 2nd.
Interesting. Okay.
So these 3 days are collectively called All Hallowtide and are a time when Western Christians honor all saints and pray for recently departed souls who have yet to reach heaven. So I guess souls are just kind of like on their way, like flying to heaven.
Hey,
like,
it's a long way away. Yeah, you know.
like a jetpack.
They just get like
Shooting
slingshotted
up.
straight up.
But yeah, it takes some time to get there. I wonder I wonder if they get a little like screen like you do on the airplane where it tells you where you're.
Just get in a chair.
Where your
There's
plane
probably
is.
a really long line once you get up there. It's
Oh,
just-
of course.
they have to like tell you about your life and what you have to like
Especially
realize
with
what you did
COVID and
wrong.
shit. There's probably the lines probably.
Dude, that's horrible. That's horrible. I've always wondered
I'm
if
sorry.
well,
Rest
how
in
did
power.
okay, so it was a day to celebrate the people that came back. That's actually kind of nice.
Well, it was a day. Yeah, to saint.
Not celebrate,
Well,
but
it
yeah,
was the
celebrate.
day for saints. Just be like, hey, I love saints.
You go marching in, you know. When the saints.
So apparently, there's a lot of people that claim it was their idea first. You know, like as this is typical.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, we did that. We were doing that way before they were.
So I have a question. Did Christians celebrate this, or like when did it become like anti-Christian? Well, not that I
don't
feel
think
like
it ever
Christians-
became anti-Christian.
Well, maybe that was a little bit too far, but I feel like I feel like it's like taking like a darker turn. It's like more just like normal people's shit than like religious.
Where does the weird shit come
Where
in?
where does this like fall apart from this?
So
like,
I
nice
scroll down
ceremony?
and I find
like, when did people stop doing that?
Of Gaelic folk influence. So today's Halloween customs are thought to have been influenced by folk customs and beliefs from the Celtic-speaking countries, some of which are believed to have pagan roots. Jack Santino, a folklorist, writes, There was throughout Ireland an uneasy truce existing between customs and beliefs associated with Christianity and those associated with religions that were Irish before Christianity arrived. The origins of Halloween customs are typically linked to the Gaelic festival Samhain. And Rhaegar joins us. He used to be a part of the podcast. We used to have a camera.
Hey, what up, Rhaegar? You want to say something?
Specifically on Rhaegar. He's probably just gonna whine at us and then want to leave,
Oh yeah. He's definitely gonna
like his usual damn dog. Sorry, folks. I know you're probably like all interested in Halloween. The damn dog comes in here. I'm just kidding.
spooky.
He's too adorable to yell at. So yeah, Sam Hain.
So how many? I don't really know. Do you know much about Ireland and how their whole thing
Oh
broke
yeah,
down?
I know about
Ireland.
Ireland.
What was the? So what was like the divisive nature of like Christianity there?
Oh yeah. So you had the Protestants and the Catholics. Right.
Okay.
That's so stupid. I hate
Yeah,
my Irish.
you might get some letters.
My Irish accent's terrible.
Yeah, you really have to. Well, I'm actually bad at accents.
I mean, I'm
not
trying to
gonna
do like
say
that
anything.
stupid. I'm trying to do like a leprechaun voice. All
I
right,
was
so
about to say something Irish.
Samhain is one of the quarter days in the medieval Gaelic calendar that has been celebrated on October 31st through November 31st in Ireland, Scotland, and the Isle of Man.
Okay.
A kindred festival has been held by the Brittonic Celts called something Callan Gay something
You
gay.
didn't have to say it.
It's Gaeaf. Gaeaf.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's probably not even close. Yeah, so they celebrate this thing in Wales. A name meaning first day of winter.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, so
For the Celts, the day ended and began at sunset. Thus, the festival begins the evening before November 1st by modern reckoning. Samhain is mentioned in some of the earliest Irish literature. The names have been used by historians to refer to Celtic Halloween costumes up until the 19th century and are still the Gaelic and Welsh names for Halloween.
What, Sam and Hayes?
Samhain.
Is Halloween. That's what you're saying to me.
Yeah, those are the names that the Gaelic and Welsh names for Halloween.
Okay. Interesting. It doesn't have the same impact as like Halloween.
And whatever they called Caelan Gaif or whatever that was.
Interesting. Okay. Wait, I
guess.
had a question. Is this all? Are these like cross influences, or are these like sprouting in different like places? Like, do everybody have like the different versions of the same shit without knowing?
No, we're talking specifically about these Gaelic origins. Like they were talking about the modern customs, like the
how it came to be, how it is.
like masks and
Yeah, keep talking about that
costumes
shit.
and that sort of shit. All right, let's see. Throughout Ireland and Britain, especially in the Celtic-speaking regions, the household festivities included divination rituals and games intended to foretell one's future, especially regarding death and marriage. Apples and nuts were often used, and customs included apple bobbing, nut roasting, scrying.
Scrying. Yeah. That's my favorite. I love that shit.
Known as seeing or peeping, in the practice of looking into a suitable medium in the hope of detecting significant messages or visions.
Like a kaleidoscope, or like looking
Like
through a hole in a wall.
It's pondering your orb, bro.
Oh, okay. So it's like the magic. Like, whoa.
Mirror gazing, pouring molten lead. Okay.
These are getting more extreme as we like go on. It
Egg
started
whites
off
in
so
the
nice.
water, dream interpretation, and others. Special bonfires were lit, and there were rituals involving them. Their flames, smoke, and ashes were deemed to have protective and cleansing powers. In some places, torches lit from the bonfire were carried sunwise around homes and fields to protect them.
Interesting. From what? Protect them from what? Like the demons?
It is suggested the fires were a kind of imitative or sympathetic magic. They mimicked the sun and held back the decay and darkness of winter.
Oh, that's actually kind of nice. So you get like a less harsh winter, hopefully.
They were also used for divination and to ward off evil spirits.
Oh, so it was the
There you
demons.
go.
It was always about
It was
the
always
demons.
about the demons.
Winter is
It's
always coming.
demons.
Yeah, it's always demons.
In Scotland, these bonfires and divination games were banned by the church elders in some parishes. Of course, these pagan rituals.
What do they have? Like, what's like the problem? Like,
We're Christians.
what's the problem with other people doing shit? Like, why do you care that there's like this hype bonfire party going on over there and you're like at home? Like, you don't even go out that night. Like, you just let them do their thing.
Well, that's always what people are doing. People hate fun. There's always a fun police.
There's
bro.
always somebody.
So
who
I'm
hates
telling
fun.
you, it's a fun police. You get the fun police no matter where
That's
you
true.
go. That's what
Damn.
I've learned is like there was always some fucking fun police somewhere. Some fucking miserable ass son of a
Some
bitch
guy telling you not to do some shit
that wants to
yeah.
fuck with some kids or skateboarding or having a good time, and they want to come out there and be like, "Stop skateboarding, stop."
Get out of here. Yeah. No, it's
Kids
damn.
are,
It's a sad fact of
or
life.
rollerblading. How about rollerblading? Let's bring that back. Don't fuck with the kids who are on rollerblades.
During
dude.
this time, was there like a lot of tension between like Christians and pagans? I don't know much about either. But I know something about Christians. I don't know much about pagans. I thought it was just everybody else who wasn't Christian. But I guess in Ireland, it's like every culture that not Christian. Like I said,
I don't know what time we're talking about. We're really just talking about like what were we talking about here? Like 19th century.
They said it was like a pagan holiday.
Yeah, I mean, this is all, pretty fairly recent. 15th century. I mean, there's all sorts of.
Yeah.
I mean, it's progressed. We've gone like the actual origins, like from when it started to when the modern, what we know. Okay, let's look at the spread to North America.
That's
How about
actually
that?
what I want to know. Yeah, I'm trying to see like when the vibe changed.
All right, so it was not until after mass Irish and Scottish immigration in the 19th century that Halloween became a major holiday in America.
Interesting.
Most American Halloween traditions were inherited from the Irish and Scots, though in Cajun areas a nocturnal mass was said in cemeteries on Halloween night. Candles that had been blessed were placed on graves, and families sometimes spent entire nights at the graveyard.
Oh, the midnight mass kind of thing.
Originally confined to these immigrant communities, it was gradually assimilated into mainstream society and was celebrated coast to coast by people of all social, racial, and religious backgrounds by the early 20th century. Then, through American influence, these Halloween traditions spread through to many other countries by the late 20th and early 21st century, including mainland Europe and some parts of the Far East.
Far East. How far?
So far.
So far.
Australia.
Not that, yeah, so far we've gotten to Australia.
Yeah, we got it. That's pretty far. So symbols. Want to talk about the symbols?
What, like jack-o'-lanterns and shit?
Yeah.
Pentagrams?
Witches.
How did witches get involved with Halloween?
Burn through the witches.
Yeah,
dig through the ditches. Slam in the back.
Whoa! I'm not with this witch slander.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I've never.
The Rob Zombie song.
Oh, that makes sense.
Dig through the ditches, burn through the witches. That's what you got to do on Halloween.
I saw a couple witches. We had a good time.
Yeah, so development of artifacts and symbols associated with Halloween formed over time. They didn't just materialize out of nowhere. Thank you, Wikipedia, for making that clear, because I needed to know that. Got to make sure that.
Yeah, some guy just drew it all up.
Yeah, like
I mean, that's how
the lizard overlords that control reality didn't just conjure it 10 years ago and make me believe that I had experienced stuff I hadn't.
Interesting.
Like the movie Dark City. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
That's a good one. So back to our movie podcast. So we're going to talk about Dark City. Or give my review.
Oh hell yeah, I'll watch that. Yeah.
It was made by Alex Proyas.
I've never heard that name. Is. No.
You don't know who Alex Proyas is
at all.
So we're going to look up Alex Proyas.
Okay, what else?
History of Alex Proyas.
Has he done anything? Like, what's his style? This kind of is giving me like Resident Evil vibes.
All right, well we're gonna get into what he's done. Filmography. So he was the director of The Crow.
Oh, okay. I've seen that.
His next movie was Dark City, of which he was the producer and writer. He also did I, Robot, the Will Smith movie.
Wow, this is a great list so far. He's done really well.
Yeah, and then he did Knowing, the Nicolas Cage movie.
I can't watch them all. I can't watch every fucking movie Nick Cage is in.
Yeah, that one's where he's like has premonitions about all the disasters. It's like got that crazy plane crash.
Oh, I did see that trailer though. That was a good cut.
I mean, it's a wild movie. It's kind of crazy. But he didn't write it, so I won't knock him for that because some of that stuff was stupid. But he also did Gods of Egypt.
Oh, I've seen Gods of Egypt. I actually really liked that when I saw it. When didn't that come out? Like 2008?
2016.
2016. Okay.
Yeah, see, Gods of Egypt wasn't too bad. But so there you go. Like, that's all he's done. But, he's a solid resume, right?
Yeah,
he hasn't done a lot, but what he's done is pretty quality, I would say. I think though Dark City kind of got screwed. He got screwed on Dark City because this is why. If you ever do watch it, and I might make you watch it, and just so I can control your viewing experience.
Straps me down into like a chair,
like a fucking A Clockwork Orange, and watch the director's cut, because if you watch the
so this is the time when I should watch the. Is it shorter or longer?
I mean, it's I got a little bit added, but it's not the reason. This is the main reason. Is one of the big differences is at the very beginning of the theatrical version, Kiefer Sutherland does a voiceover that like ruins basically like the major twist of the movie.
Wait, like right off the bat?
Yeah, so imagine Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back opens up and there's just a voiceover, or in the opening scroll you just find out that Vader's Luke's father.
Luke going to fight his father. He doesn't
know that, but Vader is his dad, or something. It just like says it like right there, and like,
wow, it's just,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
so
it's like damn, like why would you?
Yeah, why? And so it's like, yeah, exactly. Like,
wait, so they take that out? They acknowledge
the director's
that they fucked
cut,
it up.
In the director's cut, that's not there.
Okay, so you just knew openly that it was a bad idea.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, man, we shouldn't have said that.
Well, yeah, and I think that was because after the fact they kind of let him have a director's cut where he took that out and got to give you the experience that
I wonder
he wanted you to have.
how dumb they thought we were to be like, oh, we didn't get
Well,
it until you literally told us.
Well, that's the whole thing about it. It was like, this is literally why they put that in there, was because people are too fucking stupid.
Wow, don't put that on people, but yeah.
No, I'm not putting that on people. I'm saying that's
What they think about us. Yeah,
people.
that's what they think about us. It's like let's literally just write it out for them. Okay, I'll watch it. I'm interested. Okay.
I'll show you the movie. Because honestly,
that's better because I don't want to have to.
I haven't seen it in a while.
Some fucking.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while, and I'm pretty sure I have it on Blu-ray.
Oh, interesting. Nice.
Blu-ray.
I've been thinking about
copy.
getting more physical copies of shit because it's just like. I'm so fucking tired of looking for shit. Like I've literally gotten full memberships just to watch one movie because like renting it is like almost the same price sometimes. It's like, what the fuck kind of deal is this? Like I rented like some shit and it's like literally for one fucking movie and like
the amount
nothing
of
else
you're paying.
good.
Yeah, right.
It's like fuck.
No, so Dark City, it's one of those movies where it's like you just thrown right into it. You don't know what the fuck's going on, but as you watch it, like it starts to sort of kind of reveal, like things get weirder, and you have to sort of piece it together and be like, huh,
As things go on.
what the fuck's going on? And yeah, like. And as it goes, I mean, I think it's a pretty cool movie. It's a pretty creepy movie too. So if you like horror movies, it's related to Halloween. That's how it's tying back into being relevant. Yeah, Dark City. And so yeah, but like the reason why I guess why I brought that up was because yeah, just something having to do. If you've seen the movie, you probably know what I'm talking about. How people they conjure up experiences and memories.
You were saying this because you were fighting with the concepts of whatever the fuck
the lizard overlords.
Yeah, you're
control
fighting
reality.
against the lizard overlords.
Yeah, we got to expose them somehow. But see, you can't. It's got to be a drip. You can't just like hit people with the lizard.
My
the lizard
IV is
overlord.
getting too full, man. I can't be dripping all this shit into me. Like it's basically the same.
Right?
It's like
lizard overlord's too much. You OD.
No, I'm doing like
You OD on
a drip of
conspiracy
lizard
theory.
overlord. I'm doing like a drip of like. Hopefully Kanye gets better.
Did you hear Aaron Carter died?
Aaron Carter died? When?
Today.
What the fuck? No, I did not hear that.
Yesterday he tweeted, Kanye, let's talk man to man.
Dang.
And then today he's dead.
Well, I don't think those are related, but oh my, like I can't say.
You don't think they're related?
No, that's all I'm gonna say. I don't think they're related. I'm gonna leave it be. Kanye's a dangerous person to talk about at the moment. But
I'm not saying anything.
I want the best for him.
I'm not saying anything either way.
I'm talking about Kanye
I just
West,
think it's
the
interesting.
individual. I want the best for him, and
oh yeah, that's what I'm afraid of is that's gonna happen to Kanye.
don't put that on him, man.
I'm
like
not putting it on him. I'm saying I'm afraid. I'm
okay albums to go.
I'm legitimately afraid.
Damn. Well, it's been a really rough week. Like a lot of shit's happened this week. Like we literally fucking lost like Offset. We lost.
Or Takeoff.
I'm sorry, we lost Takeoff. And he was with Offset, and like literally, it's like fuck this. It's just getting rough out here. Like, dude, we were just like about to close out the whole fucking year, and now you can't even go to fucking was it a bowling alley? Not even bowling alley is just safe anymore. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Damn, man.
Well, I mean, who knows what happened to Aaron Carter? You know, rest in peace, rest in power, whatever you want to say, however you want to say it. I don't know what his deal was. I'm sure he was. He didn't as. I'm not gonna throw judgment at anybody. You know what I mean? It seems like people struggle with all sorts of things, and it's like it's hard. You know, there's so many so many people say so many like mean fucking things about this shit. It's just like oof. Like, I don't know. I just don't want to contribute to any of that energy.
No, that's like honestly why I don't like touch the topic. Cause
yeah,
it's like,
I
don't want to like. I'm not trying to like sway anybody either way. I just want to put it out there that like I want the best for.
See,
Kanye,
people were starting to come out like Kevin Durant.
Yeah,
because like he just
a lot of fucking basketball players against some shit right now.
Well, see, like Kevin Durant, he didn't even do anything, and like I guess he said something on the court. Or like in saying just like I just want to play basketball. Like I just want to focus on the positivity of working with the team and like playing the game. You know, like it's kind of the sense. I'm paraphrasing, but that's the sense of what I got. He was trying to say, right? Like,
yeah,
like I need to
but it makes sense
keep my head mentally
like
where it should be. Is kind of seemed like
I'm
what he was saying, and people are like, why won't you like condemn Kyrie? And it's just like, dude, that's his fucking teammate.
It's like why are they trying to get everybody to like fucking snitch on each other?
Just compel like
it's
they're
like
just trying to.
It's like they all work together. It's like imagine like some guy from fucking what some guy from like Truist being like, why do you guys still hang out with that Bank of America motherfucker? And then like all these guys, they're like hanging out like it's like a group of Bank of America guys. It's like they're all together, like they're all doing their own shit. Like I don't understand, like. It's not that deep. Is really what it down. You don't need this guy's opinion on it. Yeah, if you really know what you feel, like why are you asking this dude?
What do we want Kevin Durant to say?
Yeah, like what do you want from him?
He didn't do anything. Like so, everyone's
like you got to confirm with every person about how they feel about it, like before you feel confident about how you feel about it, or you're just gonna be fine. It's like okay.
Well, is it just like a thing? Like you just like start like
yeah, she's
like
probably
kind
gonna
of
go down the
wielding
list.
over
like,
people like.
Well, it's like a wrecking ball.
Well, what do you think about anti-Semitism? It's just like, look, I'm not like, because like imagine like, the thing is I guess I'm not saying anything about what Kyrie Irving did.
Well, it just becomes like so it changes like the whole tone. It's like it becomes loaded, like where it's like, oh, this is no longer a conversation because I feel like there's like a motive out of this. It's like it feels like someone just like clicked like the tape recorder kind of shit. It's like, oh, so now you're like, you want something out of this. Instead of it just being like what it is.
I do think the media, there is a role that they are playing in it, in sort of sensational and making it a bigger thing than it. And because like, look, Kyrie's allowed to share whatever he wants, and the league's allowed to suspend him or react in whatever way they want, right? Yeah. Like that, and that's where it ends for me. Like you know what I mean?
Well, it really should have just been a private matter, and I think it's I think that.
If the league wants to suspend him, if the ADL wants to come at him, if these are the consequences of what he did, well then so be it.
Yeah, stand by that. I mean, that's it. Yeah, it's like shit.
Where does this go? Like, at what point is it enough? Has he been reprimanded enough? Like, I don't understand what.
Like, why does everybody have to like come at him now? It's like.
And I think people make a valid point. It's just like this is available on Amazon. You know, and there's also the hypocrisy people point out. It's just like, you know, the NBA, you know, with the blinders on to all the shit with China, you know, they have all this money tied up in China, and China does all sorts of fucked up authoritarian shit. And not saying that like, you know, these are comparable things, but it's just like, look, like
it's just like what we focus on is just stupid sometimes.
Yeah,
it's like really because it's not really even. It's not like no one in the situation died, and it's like. Why is this beyond the scope of like a NBA? Like it should be between him and the people he works with, kind of shit. It's like, why are you asking extra players? Like, why are you asking all these people's opinions on the situation? It's like, what do you really want to like? I don't know what the gain is. Like you're not trying to gain understanding. You're not trying to solve anything.
Exactly.
So like, what the fuck is the point of all of
this? That's where I'm going with it. Is like, you know, what's the end goal? Like, are we trying to, you know, we're trying to, like we talk about, like educate people and that doesn't mean indoctrinate and beat them up and try and fucking basically force them to do shit.
I have to go soon. I have a movie.
You have a movie?
Yeah.
What's your movie?
9:40. I'm watching One Piece. I think it's like it's a super late movie, and I haven't fucking watched One Piece since like fucking 4 years ago, and I like barely remember it. But you know, I'm fine getting everything spoiled for me. Like I just want to see where they're at now. I'll just slowly skip it all, because you always have that hope when you watch something that you'll catch up. Like that was my hope with like Game of Thrones.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
You never like started something? You never seen One Piece?
It's a manga.
Yeah, pretty much. It has it's like the Simpsons like of fucking anime. They have like thousands and thousands of episodes and shit.
My God.
Yeah, no, they're fucking milking that shit heavy.
I mean, it's probably something
they like
I've seen,
imagine like the money they make.
But I just didn't know what the fuck I was watching because I've seen plenty of anime, but I'm not well versed, honestly.
Dude, take some shrooms. You'll become an expert. Subject matter expert.
I can't remember what we were talking about though.
Well,
we were getting deep into anti-Semitism. No, I mean, obviously, it's like, look, I don't get, like, you know, from the things that Kyrie was saying, like, I just didn't seem like he was fomenting hate and like the shit that people were kind of accusing him of doing. But, you know, again, I'm not like here to fucking be like judge on how people are supposed to react here. Like,
and also, I don't care what most people say. Like, I know it's like, oh, we should like not let people with platforms say bad things, but it's like, I feel like most people are, I don't know, like, I don't ever see these things because I don't ever like look for them really. Like, I'm not like, and I'm like a pretty like well-rounded person. Like, I've never.
I mean, Amazon hosts the movie.
Well, it's like, also,
so
I guess
I don't
it's like
understand
a lot of
why why people aren't directing some of that energy in Amazon. That, like, if this is like, if you feel like this piece of media is spreading like more a hateful message,
well, it's like,
why don't you petition them to take it down?
Well, I feel like it's kind of like the Huck Finn thing, like where they like took out like the N-word, like you couldn't say it. Well, they wanted to like not say it because in class because it had that in it. But it's like, it's in the book. Just if you're gonna read the book, read the book.
It was
it's like
a product of its time.
What are you actually mad about? It's like, what are you actually mad about?
Well, yeah.
Like, what do you like? It's like, we all get it. Like, I hate that like a lot of people assume that like people just don't understand like what there is to be mad about. We all get it. We do get it. Like, we're not all that dumb. Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
Like, just assume that people understand the outrage, and just assume that most people can handle it because it's like, it's not so
sometimes
deep every time. It's not so deep every time.
Sometimes in order to make progress and advance as a whole, we need to have hard conversations, and sometimes that takes understanding where people are coming from. And it's like, so if Kyrie's saying like, these are my beliefs and like this is where I'm coming from, I know people are like, well, it's super ignorant and it's like and it's hateful and racist and anti-Semitic and all this stuff. And it's like, well, if that is the case, then you're not going to disabuse Kyrie Irving of his beliefs by jumping on him.
Yeah, you're not going to like make it better
taking everything away from him. And like, you know,
he's gonna double down.
What is that? You know, like,
but it's also, it's like,
I don't know. You know, if we're actually trying to form an understanding and all progress together, then we need to be able to have a conversation.
And you can also just like leave them alone in their beliefs, because like, it's like, if you truly, I mean, like, it's like some things just kind of die off. Yeah, it's like,
sometimes if people, you know, can have some really, there's people out there that believe all sorts of weird stuff,
and you don't talk to every one of them,
and it doesn't manifest in like sort of a behavior or violence or something that's like necessarily negative. Like, they can go out and live their life and be a successful member of society,
like most of the flat earthers.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Jesus. I mean, think about how many people that have so many odd beliefs that, you know, and people accuse Kyrie of being a flat earther, right? So it's like,
oh, I forgot about all that. I really did forget about it.
So, you know, there's people have all sorts of odd beliefs, and people are, you know, oh, well, they're just idiots and anti-intellectual, but, you know, I don't think it's necessarily that hopeless.
I do think we're getting better about. I think all this pushback is good, because I think we're realizing where the limits really are. It's like, because some people...
And to go back to Elon, that's why we need to not suppress things.
So we can understand.
Necessarily bigger things like that. Not necessarily like bullshit like racial slurs and like imitation, you know...
Well, we can get through all like the fuck... Yeah, we can get through all of that fucking gaff and get to like the real meat of shit.
Yeah, that exactly. Be able to actually have those tough conversations without them being stifled. You know... maybe we might get somewhere, who knows. But anyway, we gotta go. Kevin's got his One Piece. And so yeah, go find us on the social medias, go listen to all the other episodes, and go give us 5 stars on iTunes if we're worth it.
We possibly may be streaming live next time.
Maybe we'll stream, we'll figure it out, we'll do some shit. We're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
See you guys. Sorry for cutting it short.
Apologize to them, Kevin.
To the people.
Apologize to the audience.
I'm sorry, guys.
Good night.